Hello and welcome to my nature documentary. I was inspired to make this by people like David Attenborough and Steve Backshall. It's because of how much work they have done within nature itself. The way how David Attenborough has helped with his numerous documentaries, starting with Zoo Quest and going to Galapagos. The way how Stephen Backshall has helped is with all the work he's done with animals and wildlife, with shows like Deadly 60 and Expedition with Steve Backshall. When I've been doing the research for this to inform you, I try to be informative as possible and I do not spread any misinformation. What I've found out is that not just that we've destroyed nature, is more how much of nature we've destroyed. I learned that in the last 50 years we've destroyed about 83% of all wild mammals. The aim of this documentary is to try and show people how they can help to protect nature better than they already are. I also want to talk about pollution as well, like air pollution, sound pollution, water pollution and light pollution. All of these are serious issues that affect people daily. The first thing I want to properly talk about is time difference. What I mean by this is when you see a photo of a building from about 50 years ago, you can see that the building is very well put together. But sometimes in that 50 years difference, buildings can become abandoned, which lets them become overrun with weeds and ivy. It shows that nature itself is very powerful and not easy to control. This means that these places after a while will look overrun, which is how you get these type of photos nowadays. This is useful to show the passage of time. I've seen this firsthand while out and about in my area. Here are some of my findings. When I was looking at places to talk about, I first thought of Ainsdale Woods, as it is a place where I walk often, so I know where to get good photos. When I took these photos, I was thinking of how nature affects people mentally. Is when you are suffering with something like anxiety or depression, people usually say to go for a walk, clear your head and get some fresh air. As I've said, to help with people's mental health. I can say, at least for me, it does help with my mental health. Another one of the responses that I got was future challenges due to climate change. When I think about this, I suggest that we get better at maintaining a world and improving on how it is for now. A way how we can try and stop climate change is by doing some same stuff we are doing now. One of which is putting white rocks into places like the desert, so that some of the heat and sun rays get reflected back into space, which will in turn help cool down the planet, which will help to combat climate change. There are a lot of different types of trees, like oak and birch for example. When you go to different places, you will find different types of trees. Like if you go to Africa, you'd find a tree called the baobab, which is one of the most well-known trees in Africa. When you look at what people say about deforestation, you talk about how we could have stopped it in the past and not how we can still stop it now, when we need to stop it the most, as is happening at an even more advanced rate now. Deforestation is a terrible thing that shouldn't happen. Now, I'm not saying we should just stop cutting down trees because we need paper and things like that, but we need to cut back on how much we are cutting down. We're cutting down way too many trees a day. It's gone to the point where we're just damaging the earth and ruining the lives of wildlife, as a lot of animals need trees to survive. Sometimes it feels like no matter what you do, you cannot help people, which is what it feels like with deforestation. This is not a good feeling at all, in all honesty. I like being able to research the different bits and pieces that I had to find out for this documentary, as it showed me what we should do to try and save the world. I was able to find some photos that I find quite interesting, as it showed the main themes I wanted to talk about when making this documentary, and that simply put is time. What I mean by that is how time affects a place. Like when a building gets abandoned, how it just gets left ruined, how it decays and how people destroy it. It shows that when people are done with something, they just leave, they don't clean it or make it look nice, they just abandon it just because they can. It shows how people also treat the earth, which is why I started making this documentary. I wanted to find out how to better protect the earth, What I suggest is that we need to work together to stop the destruction of the planet, because some days that's all that we can do. Other days we can donate to good causes, you could clean up your local beach, maybe plant some trees. In all honesty, you can do a lot to at least try and help the earth, because we live here. It's the least that we can do. If not for us, then for future generations. Thank you for watching.